Hello, everyone, and I want to welcome you to this week's Friday Reflections. I'm coming to you from my home today. I'm on vacation this week, so I'm outdoors on my back deck. So be prepared to hear a lot of noises, birds, dogs, and trucks, and everything else. But I wanted to come to you today and just share with you an important message about making sure that we find time for Sabbath keeping in our lives, for rest and renewal, and how it's through that we find the power of the resurrection, the power of new life and renewal in our lives each and every week, if we but take that time for rest and for the renewal of our minds and our hearts and our spirits. I'll be one of the first ones to admit I'm not a great Sabbath keeper. I'm one of those people that likes to be on the go all the time and doing things and that. And I've had to learn over time the importance of being able to step back and rest and reflect and be renewed and rejuvenated. And it was amazing how right after the first or second day of this week, when I was just doing some things I enjoyed doing, how much better my outlook was, my attitude was, and just being able to reflect on things in a more wholesome and refreshed manner than when you're going at it and you're right in the middle of everything. And so when we talk about the power of the resurrection, we talk about new life. We have to remember the importance of Sabbath keeping. You know, it's hard to do that these days with all the responsibilities and everything going on. And with the advent of technology, I find it even harder because people can find you and get to you in so many different ways now. Instagram, Twitter, email, text, all of these things make it harder and harder for us really to truly get away and set our minds at ease so that we can truly allow ourselves to relax and reflect and be renewed and be rejuvenated in the power of God's love. I know this week for me, just being outside, taking walks at Stone Mountain, doing things with my wife and kids, it's just how nice it is to do that. But yet, I can hear my phone pinging and things like that too. So it's just a new day and a new way. We have to find ways to set those boundaries, but it's important to do so. When I think of Sabbath keeping, I always think of the creation story. And I come to realize that if God took a day off and needed rest and relaxation, so do I. So I read to you from Genesis 2, first couple of verses here, where it says, "Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all their multitude. And on the seventh day God finished the work that God had done. And God rested on the seventh day from all the work that God had been doing. So God blessed the seventh day and hallowed it, because on it God rested from all the work that God had done in creation." Not only did God rest, but God made it a holy day. And that's what makes it important. Sabbath is a holy day. Vacation is a holy time. Rest, rejuvenation, and renewal of our minds is a holy thing, because God didn't just create us to get along and to make it from week to week and to survive from week to week, even though sometimes that is what we have to do. We were created so that we could be in communion with God. We could be in communion with creation. We could be in communion with one another, so that our hearts and our minds continue to be renewed and rejuvenated. We could continue to grow in our faith and grow in our understanding and knowledge of God and what life is really all about and what is truly important. All of these things are the things that give us new life. All of these things are things that help us to grow as a person. All of these things are what help us keep a proper perspective on life and help us to truly enjoy the life that God gives us. So make sure that you're taking time out for yourself. Make sure you're taking your time out and getting proper rest, allowing your mind, your body, your spirit to be rejuvenated. Make sure you're taking time out for renewal and growth, new learning, new ways of being creative, new ways of learning things in your life. That becomes so much part of the importance of worship and learning as part of Sabbath keeping, because not only do we commune with God and give thanks to God for the beautiful life that God has given us, but we also find ways to grow and to learn. Because when we grow and learn, that helps us to be shaped and molded into the people that God has created us to be. Again, I don't think God just wants us to try to survive every week and get by every week. God wants us to grow and to learn. And as we grow and learn, and as we become the people that God continues to mold and shape us into, both individually and as a community, that's where we find the power of the resurrection. That's where we find good news. That's where we find rejuvenation for our life. I'm reminded of a practice I learned several years ago, that on the Sabbath day, what you really should do is you should take your calendar or whatever it is that you use and go over the last 6 days and look at all the ways in which God used you to make a difference or to do things in your life. Not to look at all the things that didn't get done or didn't happen, but rather look at all the things that happened. Look at all the ways that God worked through you. Look at all the ways that God came to you, maybe in other people or circumstances or resources. Because sometimes we forget all that happens during the week, all the creativity we utilize, all the things that we do, all the ways that people reach out to us. And one of the great Sabbath keeping practices is just to sit back and reflect upon what has happened in the last week. And you might just be amazed at how much God is working in and through you, and how much God is doing in the world. And I know when I've done that, I've been amazed. And truly just, it raises your level of joy to see that despite the things that maybe didn't get done or didn't go well, how many things did get done and did go well. So I commend that practice to you. So just a reminder, this coming Sunday, we have 2 services, 8:30 and 11, and both are going to be indoors. Please make sure to look at all your announcements. We really need to please pay attention to all those things. I know it gets harder and harder the longer this goes on, but it's really, really important. Still lots of good things going on, so please pay close attention to your announcements. But most of all, make sure that you take time for rest and renewal and rejuvenation. It is through that hallowed, holy experience that God put in place for us that we truly become, and continue to become the people that God calls us to be as we get rest, rejuvenation, and renewal. God's blessings to you, and I will see you next week.